Top 10 Nutrients for Hair Loss, Diet for Healthy Hair. Whether you've noticed more strands in the shower drain, thinning along your part, or just feel like your hair isn't as thick and vibrant as it used to be, you're not alone. But here's the truth. Your hair is trying to tell you something. Did you know that hair cells are the second fastest growing cells in your entire body, second only to your intestinal lining? That means your body needs to constantly fuel your hair with the right nutrients and conditions to keep it growing strong. But here's the catch: your body doesn't consider hair essential for survival. It's not a vital organ. So the moment you're lacking key nutrients, your hormones are off, or you're chronically stressed or sleep deprived, your hair is one of the first things to suffer. That's because hair is a mirror of your internal health. So if your hair is shedding, thinning, breaking, or graying prematurely, it's not just a cosmetic issue, it's a metabolic signal. Often, it's a warning sign from your body that something is out of balance. But don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly what you can do about it. Keep watching, because you don't want to miss these life-changing nutrition tips. Before we dive in, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from today? Drop a comment below. Feel free to ask any questions you have, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a health tip from Health 2660. Let's first talk about iron. Hair is made up of a tough protein called keratin, but it's not just about protein. Your hair follicles also need a steady supply of vitamins, minerals, and essential building blocks to stay active and productive. Iron plays a key role in transporting oxygen through your blood. Your hair follicles are highly active tissues, and they need oxygen to grow. Without enough iron, oxygen delivery to the scalp slows down, and the follicles can literally suffocate, leading to thinning, shedding, and stalled growth. In fact, low levels of a specific protein called ferritin, your body's iron storage marker, are closely linked to hair loss. Studies show that when ferritin levels drop below 30 nanograms per milliliter, hair growth can come to a grinding halt. But, and this is important, more iron isn't always better. Taking high doses of iron without medical guidance can lead to oxidative stress, which damages hair follicles and other tissues, so it's all about balance. For most adults, the recommended daily intake of iron depends on age, sex, and individual health needs. Adult men and postmenopausal women typically need about 8 milligrams of iron per day, since they are less likely to lose iron through bleeding. However, premenopausal women need more, around 18 milligrams daily, due to iron loss from menstruation. As for older adults, especially those over 50, their iron needs generally remain at 8 milligrams per day, unless they have specific conditions like anemia or gastrointestinal issues that affect absorption. It's also important to note that iron needs can increase temporarily during periods of illness, recovery, or if a person follows a plant-based diet, since non-heme iron from plants is less readily absorbed by the body. Now, not all iron is created equal. There are two main types. Heme iron, found in animal products like liver, red meat, chicken, egg yolks, and fish, is the most absorbable form. Non-heme iron, found in plant-based foods like spinach, lentils, tofu, chickpeas, cashews, and pistachios, is less bioavailable. If you're vegetarian or vegan, here's a key tip. Your body absorbs plant-based iron about 1.8 times less efficiently than iron from meat. That means you'll need to eat more iron-rich foods, or consider pairing them with vitamin C like lemon juice or bell peppers to boost absorption naturally. So if you've been feeling tired, losing more hair than usual, or dealing with heavy periods, or a plant-based diet, iron might just be the missing piece of your hair health puzzle. 2. Zinc supports hair follicle growth, repair, and hormonal balance. Now let's talk about a mineral that doesn't get nearly enough attention but plays a massive role in whether your hair grows thick and strong, or dry, brittle, and slow. We're talking about zinc. It doesn't just support your immune system or help with wound healing, it's absolutely critical for healthy hair growth. In fact, if you're losing hair and you've ruled out iron or stress, zinc deficiency could be the silent culprit. Here's why zinc matters. Your hair follicles are mini factories. They're constantly dividing, producing new cells, and pushing strands upward and outward. That process depends heavily on enzyme activity and cell division, and zinc is essential for both. But that's not all. Zinc also supports oil balance in your scalp by regulating sebaceous glands. Too little leads to dryness, too much can clog follicles. For most healthy adults, the recommended daily intake of zinc is about 8 mg for women and 11 mg for men. These needs can vary slightly depending on age, diet, and overall health. As we get older, our bodies may absorb zinc less efficiently, which means that older adults might benefit from slightly higher intake, especially if they have certain health conditions or take medications that affect zinc levels. While zinc supplements can be helpful when there's a deficiency, it's important not to overdo it. High doses of zinc, especially over 40 mg per day, can actually lead to copper deficiency, which can cause even more hair loss and other health issues. Now here's the good news: zinc is easy to find in food. Some of the best natural sources include pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, red meat, shellfish like oysters and crab, spinach and other leafy greens. And if you're thinking about supplements, opt for forms like zinc picolinate, gluconate or orotate. These are gentler on the stomach and tend to absorb better than cheaper forms like zinc sulfate. So if you're struggling with hair thinning or slow growth, zinc might just be the missing piece. But always aim for balance, because healthy hair starts with healthy systems working in harmony. 3. Biotin, vitamin B7, keratin production and follicle support. Now let's dive into one of the most talked about nutrients in the world of hair care, and for good reason. You've probably seen it on shampoo bottles, gummies, or even in influencer recommendations. We're talking about biotin, also known as vitamin B7 or vitamin H. Biotin plays a critical role in the structure and strength of your hair because it's directly involved in the production of keratin. That's the main protein that makes up your hair, skin, and nails. Without enough biotin, your body struggles to efficiently carry out the cellular energy processes that fuel the hair follicles. When your body doesn't get enough biotin, the effects often start off subtle, but they build over time. You may begin to notice signs like thinning or brittle hair, soft or weak nails, and dry, flaky skin. At first, these changes might seem minor, but as your deficiency continues, they can become more obvious, especially when your hair begins to break easily or stops growing beyond a certain length. Here's something important to know: biotin deficiency is relatively rare, but it does happen. Certain groups of people are more at risk, including pregnant or breastfeeding women, whose nutrient needs increase; people who consume excessive alcohol, which depletes B vitamin levels; those with digestive disorders like Crohn's disease or IBS, which impair nutrient absorption; and people who've been on long-term antibiotics, as these can wipe out the gut bacteria that help produce biotin naturally. For most healthy adults, the recommended daily intake of biotin is about 30 micrograms per day, according to the National Institutes of Health. This amount is typically enough to support normal metabolism, hair growth, skin health, and nail strength. Older adults generally need the same amount as younger adults, although absorption may decline with age, especially in those with digestive issues or those taking certain medications. The good news: biotin is easy to find in everyday foods like eggs, nuts, sweet potatoes, legumes, mushrooms, leafy greens, and even cheese. 4. Vitamin D, wake up your dormant hair follicles. That's right, we're talking about vitamin D. Vitamin D is one of the most underrated players when it comes to healthy hair. What makes it so important is that it directly influences the anagen phase. That's the active growth phase of the hair cycle. Your hair follicles actually have vitamin D receptors, and those receptors are only active when hair is in this growth phase. Without enough vitamin D, those follicles can go into hibernation mode and stay there. For most healthy adults, the recommended daily intake of vitamin D is 600 IU international units per day. However, as we age, our ability to produce and absorb vitamin D naturally decreases. That's why adults over the age of 70 are advised to get at least 800 IU per day to maintain bone strength, immune function, and hair follicle activity. Factors like limited sun exposure, darker skin tone, obesity, or digestive issues can increase your risk of deficiency at any age. The good news: you can boost your vitamin D levels through both food and sunlight. Some of the best dietary sources of vitamin D include fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel; eggs, especially the yolk, beef liver, fortified foods like dairy products and certain plant-based milks. And of course, one of the most effective and natural ways to make vitamin D is through sunlight. Just 10 to 15 minutes of direct sun exposure a day, preferably on your arms, face, or legs, can help your body produce the vitamin B it needs to support your hair and overall health. 5. Omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, inflammation and scalp support. If you're looking to grow healthier, shinier, and more resilient hair, one of the smartest things you can do is reduce inflammation, especially in your scalp. And one of the most powerful ways to do that is by balancing your intake of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, the anti-inflammatory superheroes. Omega-3 fatty acids help protect your hair follicles by reducing inflammation, improving blood flow to the scalp, and increasing hydration and elasticity in the skin around your follicles. That means they not only help stimulate growth, but also protect the strands you already have from becoming dry, brittle, or breaking. You'll find omega-3 south in fatty fish, flax seeds, chia, and walnuts, plus bonus nutrients like B vitamins and selenium. Now, let's talk about omega-6 south. Despite their bad reputation, omega-6 fatty acids are not the enemy. In fact, they contain a compound called arachidonic acid, which actually helps stimulate hair follicles and maintain your scalp's moisture barrier. The issue isn't omega-6 itself, it's the imbalance. Most people today eat way too many omega-6 south from processed foods and refined vegetable oils like soybean oil, corn oil, and sunflower oil. Too much omega-6 can lead to chronic inflammation, which may worsen hair thinning or scalp sensitivity. So what's the fix? Aim for a 4:1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 in your diet. For most healthy adults, the recommended daily intake of omega-3 fatty acids is about 1.1 grams per day for women and 1.6 grams per day for men, according to the National Institutes of Health. These amounts can help support heart, brain, and hair health. Older adults may benefit from slightly higher amounts due to increased inflammation and decreased absorption with age. As for omega-6 fatty acids, most people already consume more than enough, typically between 10 to 17 grams per day, often from processed foods and vegetable oils. 6. Magnesium, anti-stress mineral and calcium regulator. If you're doing all the right things, eating well, getting your vitamins, managing stress, but your hair still isn't growing the way it should, there's one essential mineral you might be missing: magnesium. Magnesium is often called the anti-stress mineral, and when it comes to hair health, its role is surprisingly powerful. One of its key jobs is to regulate calcium in the body. But that's not all. Magnesium also helps lower cortisol levels, which is your body's main stress hormone. When cortisol is too high for too long, it triggers inflammation and pushes more hair follicles into the rest intelligent phase, leading to excessive shedding. And let's not forget magnesium's role in protein synthesis, including the production of keratin, the structural protein that makes up your hair. Without enough magnesium, your body struggles to build the building blocks your hair needs to grow. For most healthy adults, the recommended daily intake of magnesium is about 400 to 420 milligrams per day for men and 310 to 320 milligrams per day for women. As people age, magnesium becomes even more important, especially for muscle function, bone health, heart rhythm, and hair growth. So where can you get more magnesium naturally? Some of the best food sources include leafy greens like spinach and kale, nuts and seeds, especially pumpkin, sunflower, and almonds, green beans, legumes, and whole grains. 7. Vitamin B12, red blood cell formation, and DNA synthesis. If you've ever felt unusually tired, looked a little pale, or noticed your hair shedding more than usual, your body might be trying to tell you it's low on something essential: vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 often flies under the radar when talking about hair health, but it's essential for one big reason: it supports the formation of red blood cells, which carry oxygen to your hair follicles. In addition to oxygen delivery, B12 is vital for DNA synthesis. Your hair follicles are some of the fastest dividing cells in your body, and that constant renewal requires strong, healthy DNA replication. Without enough B12, the hair growth cycle weakens from the inside out. When B12 is low, hair growth slows and shedding increases. Some groups are especially at risk: vegans, older adults, and those with digestive issues or on certain medications. For most healthy adults, the recommended daily intake of vitamin B12 is 2.4 micrograms per day, according to the National Institutes of Health. This amount typically supports normal energy levels, red blood cell production, brain function, and healthy hair growth. However, adults over age 50 may have a harder time absorbing B12 from food due to lower levels of stomach acid, which is needed for proper digestion of the vitamin. That's why older adults are often advised to get their B12 from supplements or fortified foods, which are easier for the body to absorb. The best sources of B12 include eggs, dairy, beef liver, salmon, and fortified plant-based milks. If supplementing, go for methylcobalamin, a form that's easier for your body to absorb. 8. Vitamin C collagen formation and iron absorption. When it comes to healthy hair, vitamin C does more than just support your immune system. It plays a vital behind-the-scenes role in keeping your strands strong and resilient. One of its biggest jobs, helping your body produce collagen, the structural protein that holds your hair, skin, and nails together. Vitamin C also boosts the absorption of non-heme iron, the kind found in plant-based foods. Without enough vitamin C, your body struggles to absorb iron properly, which means your follicles might not get the oxygen they need to grow. For most healthy adults, the recommended daily intake of vitamin C is 90 milligrams per day for men and 75 milligrams per day for women, according to the National Institutes of Health. However, certain groups like smokers, older adults, or those recovering from illness may need more due to increased oxidative stress or reduced absorption. Vitamin C is water-soluble, meaning the body doesn't store it, so you need to replenish it daily through your diet. If your hair feels dull or is breaking more easily, it could be a sign your vitamin C levels need a top-up. Good food sources include citrus fruits, bell peppers, strawberries, leafy greens, and broccoli. 9. Silica for strong, shiny hair. You won't find it on every supplement label, but it plays a big role behind the scenes. Silica is a trace mineral that helps reinforce the collagen matrix surrounding your hair follicles. Think of collagen as the scaffolding that holds your hair structure together, and silica as the mineral that keeps that structure firm, flexible, and resilient. Though often overlooked, silica is a trace mineral that strengthens the collagen network supporting your hair. It helps make hair more elastic, shiny, and breakage resistant, while also supporting scalp health. Top sources of silica include bamboo shoots and horsetail extract, as well as oats and leafy greens. While not essential for everyone, adding a little more silica to your diet can make a noticeable difference in hair texture and strength, especially as you age. 10. Trace minerals, often overlooked, always critical. We've covered the big names: iron, zinc, biotin, and vitamin D, but now let's zoom in on something that doesn't get enough attention: trace minerals. Just because they're needed in tiny amounts doesn't mean they're any less important. In fact, trace minerals are often the missing puzzle pieces in your hair health journey. Here's why they matter. Trace minerals like copper, selenium, iodine, manganese, and chromium are essential for protein synthesis, including the production of keratin, the protein that forms your hair, skin, and nails. Without these minerals, your hair follicles simply can't do their job properly. Even if you're getting enough protein, B vitamins, or iron, your hair can still struggle to grow if your body is low in these critical micronutrients. And unfortunately, trace mineral deficiencies are more common than ever. Why? Because modern farming practices and soil depletion have dramatically lowered the mineral content of our food. Decades ago, your vegetables naturally contained more minerals, but today, even a healthy-looking salad may not give you the trace nutrients your body needs. So where can you get them? Great natural sources of trace minerals include sea kelp rich in iodine, organ meats like liver packed with bioavailable nutrients, and plant-based blends made from sea vegetables or volcanic soil. These foods help replenish the mineral foundation your body needs to support healthy, steady hair growth. Keep in mind, you don't need massive doses, just small, consistent amounts can help your hair follicles thrive. Up next, we're wrapping things up with one final but massively overlooked factor that could be holding back your hair growth no matter how great your diet is: It's free, simple, and something you're probably not doing enough of hydration. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button. It really helps us bring you more valuable content. Leave a comment below and let us know which of these nutrients you plan to incorporate more into your diet. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest health tips and insights. Stay informed, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next video.